What if you could add years to your life just by changing what's on your plate today? Not decades from now. Not through some impossible routine or expensive treatment. Just through the food you choose to eat each day. Imagine looking in the mirror one day and realizing you feel stronger, more alive, more focused, not because of a pill or a doctor's visit, but because you made one powerful decision to nourish your body like your life depends on it. Because it does. Most people don't think about longevity until it's too late. They move through life caught in the daily rush, eating whatever's quick, ignoring the signs: fatigue, brain fog, the slow decline they've come to accept as normal. But what if that decline isn't normal? What if it's a warning? A signal that the body is starving for real fuel, not just food that fills the stomach but leaves the cells empty? Deep down, you know you were made for more than just surviving. You were made to thrive, to live with energy, purpose, and clarity, to wake up without pain, to walk without fear of what your next checkup will say, to feel young even when the calendar says you're aging. That kind of life isn't reserved for the lucky. It's reserved for the intentional. There are people right now living past 100 clear-minded, active, joyful, and they're not doing anything magical. They're eating with purpose. They're choosing foods that heal instead of harm. They're living proof that what you eat isn't just about calories. It's about life, the life in your heart, the life in your brain, the life in your future. And the best part, you don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to start, one choice at a time, one habit repeated. And it begins with understanding what to eat and why. Stay with me, because this is more than just a list of healthy foods. This is a guide to transformation, not just living longer, but living better, with more strength, more presence, more freedom. Freedom from disease, from fatigue, from the slow erosion of your potential. Every moment you spend watching this is an investment in that freedom. And if you've ever felt like your health was slipping through your fingers, like time was working against you, this is your way back. Back to vitality. Back to control. Back to the version of you that hasn't faded but is still waiting to rise. This isn't about fear. It's about power. Your power. The power to shape your future with every bite. The power to become the kind of person who doesn't just wish for a better life, they build it. You've been told to accept decline, to expect pain, to wait for someone else to fix it. But that ends here. Today, you learn what to eat, why to eat it, and how these foods can become your daily defense against aging, illness, and regret. This is your path to 100. Let's begin. Living to 100 isn't about chance. It's about the choices you make every single day, especially the ones you don't think twice about. It's not in your genetics, it's in your habits. And the truth is, most people surrender their future because they believe they don't have control. But you do. You always have. You control what you eat. You control what you put into your body, into your cells, into your future. And the moment you recognize that control, everything changes. Suddenly, your life is no longer a slow drift toward aging. It's a deliberate climb toward strength, resilience, and vitality. You've been told that growing older means growing weaker, that your best years are behind you, that decline is inevitable. But that's a lie repeated by a society more focused on treating illness than building health. You don't have to accept that. You don't have to live like time is your enemy. Because time isn't your enemy, it's your opportunity. Every year can be stronger than the last if you feed your body the fuel it was designed for. You're not meant to fall apart. You're meant to evolve, to become sharper, wiser, more grounded with every passing day. And the foundation of that evolution starts with what you eat. There are places in the world where people grow older without growing sicker, where aging isn't a burden, it's a badge of honor. They don't do anything extreme. They eat real food, consistently, with intention. And because of that, their bodies remain strong, their minds stay clear, and their spirits stay light. They're not surviving. They're thriving. Their kind of life isn't out of reach. It's within your grasp right now. It starts with choosing food not for pleasure alone, but for purpose. Not for temporary comfort, but for permanent strength. Because what you eat becomes who you are: your muscles, your organs, your thoughts, your mood. Every cell in your body listens to the food you give it. Every meal is a message. So ask yourself, what message are you sending? Is it one of healing, of power, of life? Or is it one of decay, stress, and slow surrender? You get to decide. That's the most powerful truth you'll ever hear. You don't need a radical transformation. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to commit to progress. To wake up each day and choose foods that fuel life instead of feeding disease. It's not about going on a diet. It's about becoming someone who eats for their future, not just their cravings. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are one decision away from a completely different path. A path that leads to energy, clarity, longevity. A path that lets you show up fully for the people you love, for the dreams you haven't reached yet, for the life still waiting for you. It's already yours. You just have to claim it. And it begins with the plate in front of you. Choose to live. Choose to rise. Choose to eat like your future depends on it, because it does. Your body is not breaking down because it's old. It's breaking down because it's undernourished. It's exhausted from years of being fed things it was never built to process. Highly processed, sugar-packed, Chemically laced foods have become the norm, and your body is quietly paying the price. Pain, fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, these are not signs of aging. They are signals. Signals that something needs to change. Signals that your body is begging to be cared for, not punished. You don't need more medicine. You need more nourishment. Real, healing nourishment that rebuilds you from the inside out. Today, the power to heal is already within you. Your cells are constantly regenerating. Your body is designed to repair itself. But it can't do that if it's being starved of the very tools it needs to heal. When you eat with intention, every bite becomes an act of transformation. You begin to feel lighter not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. You begin to wake up with clarity. You begin to sleep deeply, breathe easily, move freely. Your body stops fighting to survive and starts working to thrive. It's not just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. You felt the difference before. On days when you ate clean, moved your body, drank water, you felt alive. That feeling is not random. It's a result. And you can feel that way every day. It's not out of reach. But it does require a shift, a decision to stop numbing your hunger with dead food and start feeding your life with living nutrition. You already know what you should be eating. Deep down, we all do. Whole foods, plants, colors, clean proteins, water-rich, mineral-rich, antioxidant-packed foods that energize, not drain. This is not about restriction. It's about resurrection. The resurrection of your vitality, your confidence, your strength. You don't need to do it all at once. Start with one powerful addition to your plate. One healing food, one nutrient-dense ingredient that says, I'm done feeding decay. I'm building health now. Because every choice adds up. Every meal either moves you closer to the life you want or further away from it. There is no standing still. Your body is always moving in a direction. And you get to choose which one. The excuses don't serve you anymore. I don't have time. I don't know what to eat. It's too expensive. Your life is more valuable than every excuse combined. This is about taking ownership. Radical, unapologetic ownership of your health, your habits, your future. Not someday. Today. Right now, because the longer you wait, the deeper the damage becomes. But the sooner you act, the faster the healing begins. You are not too far gone. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are ready. You are capable. And you are worthy of a life filled with energy, strength, and purpose. Start eating like it. Live like it. Become the version of you that refuses to fade. You don't need permission to change your life. You don't need approval, validation, or a perfect moment. You just need to decide that your health, your energy, your future are non-negotiable. That the way you've been living is no longer enough. That something deeper, stronger, more meaningful is calling you forward. This isn't about chasing perfection. It's about reclaiming power. The quiet, unshakable power that comes from taking control of what you put in your body. The kind of power that grows every time you say no to the things that drain you and yes to the things that build you. Every time you choose life-giving food, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. A vote for strength. A vote for clarity. A vote for longevity. And those votes accumulate. They reshape your identity. They rewrite your biology. You are not bound by your past. You are not limited by your upbringing, your habits, or your circumstances. You are being renewed, rebuilt, reshaped one choice at a time. Every meal is a moment to declare who you are and where you're going, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Because when you fuel your body with life, your mind follows. Your spirit follows. Your confidence returns. There is something sacred about caring for yourself with such intention. It sends a message not just to your body, but to your soul that you are worth it, that you matter, that your life is not an accident. And when you start to believe that, everything changes. You stop settling. You stop numbing. You stop living small. You rise. You push forward. You become the person you were always meant to be. Not just someone who survives, but someone who lives fully, fiercely, fearlessly. That version of you is already inside. But it's been buried under years of neglect, distraction, and self-doubt. Now is the time to dig it out, to rise up, to return to the strength that has always been yours. You don't need a complete overhaul. You need commitment. Daily, consistent, intentional action. That's where the magic is. In the quiet moments no one sees. The small decisions that seem insignificant but hold the power to transform your life. The food you choose today will become the energy you feel tomorrow, the clarity you experience next week, the resilience you build for next year. This is about playing the long game. Loving yourself enough to stop chasing short-term comfort and start building long-term strength. You've already come too far to quit now. You've already felt the pull towards something greater. That pull is not your imagination, it's your truth. It's your body calling you back to alignment. It's your soul reminding you of what's possible. You were never meant to break down. You were never meant to give in. You were built to rise, to fight, to flourish. So feed that strength. Fuel that purpose. Eat with the kind of focus and love that says, I'm here, I'm alive, and I'm not wasting another day. You are not meant to shrink with age. You are meant to expand in wisdom, in strength, in purpose. The world has conditioned you to believe that decline is normal, that it's acceptable to grow tired, brittle, forgetful. But that is not your destiny. That is the result of neglect, not nature. Your body, when treated with respect, is a masterpiece of resilience. It was designed to endure, to regenerate, to carry you through a full, vibrant life. The power is already inside you dormant, waiting not because it's lost, but because it's been ignored. And now is the time to awaken it. You do this by choosing what you eat like it matters, because it does. Every single bite is a signal, a command. You either feed your potential or you feed your decay. There is no neutral. The body listens. Every cell is wired to respond to the nutrients you give it. Give it junk, and it will struggle. Give it life, and it will rise. Real food does more than fill your stomach, it builds your future. It repairs tissue, calms inflammation, restores energy. It turns aging from a burden into a process of refinement. You don't just live longer, you live stronger. This is not about obsession, it's about respect. Respecting yourself enough to choose the foods that love you back, that nourish your brain, support your heart, strengthen your bones, protect your immune system. It doesn't have to be complex. It has to be consistent. Leafy greens, vibrant fruits, clean proteins, healthy fats, these are the tools, the keys, the foundation. You already know what they are. What you need now is not more information, it's more commitment. The kind that says, I'm done compromising, I'm done waiting. My future is worth the effort. It's easy to fall into the trap of comfort, to reach for what's fast, what's familiar, what's easy. But comfort is not peace, and familiarity is not freedom. Real peace comes when your body feels light, when your mind feels clear, when your energy flows freely. That's not found in convenience, it's found in care. It's built in the quiet discipline of feeding your body what it was meant to receive. You don't need a miracle. You need a moment where you draw the line and say, I will not feed my own decline. You've tasted the other side. The exhaustion, the fog, the aches that whisper, this is just how it is now. But that voice is not truth. That voice is surrender. You are not here to surrender. You are here to rise, to fight for the body you were gifted, to honor the life you've been given. And every time you eat like your life matters, you honor that gift. You reinforce the truth. You are still in control. Your story is still being written, and the next chapter can be the most powerful yet if you have the courage to choose it. You don't need to chase youth to stay alive. You need to feed the energy that's already inside you. The spark hasn't left you. It's been buried under layers of fatigue, poor habits, and the slow erosion of belief. But deep within you, something still burns. A knowing, a hunger, a voice that refuses to be silenced. That voice wants more than survival. It wants to thrive, to feel, to rise with power and move through life with purpose. It's not too late. You are not too far gone. You are not behind. What matters now is how fiercely you decide to show up for yourself. The body responds to what it receives. Feed it life, and it will reflect life. Feed it strength, and it will respond with strength. This is not magic. This is biology. And your biology is waiting for you to take the lead. You don't need to guess what to do. You already feel it every time you nourish yourself with something real. Your skin glows. Your mind clears. Your posture lifts. You become lighter, not just in weight, but in spirit. Because your body feels safe. It's no longer fighting to survive. It's working with you, not against you. And that's when the real change begins. The journey doesn't begin with intensity. It begins with integrity. A single act of respect for your own life. Choosing to eat for energy, not escape. Choosing to care even when no one's watching. Choosing to say, this matters, I matter. That choice is powerful. Because it stacks, day by day, it compounds into something unshakable. It builds self-trust. It builds momentum. And momentum is how transformation begins. You start small, but what grows inside you is massive. Confidence, discipline, a deeper connection to your body, your mind, your future. Your life expands or contracts based on how you treat yourself. Every plate you build is a message: I am building something or I am breaking something. There is no in between. When you choose food that loves your body, you are choosing alignment. You are choosing to live in sync with what you know is right. That alignment fuels your clarity. It drives your decisions. It rewires your thinking. And it leads to freedom, not restriction, but real freedom. The kind where your body doesn't hold you back. Where pain no longer steals your peace. Where energy flows and your presence sharpens. You are not here just to exist. You are here to feel alive. Fully, deeply, consistently. And you can't do that while feeding yourself like you're disposable. You are not disposable. You are powerful, irreplaceable, and worthy of the deepest care. So feed yourself like it. With purpose. With love, with the kind of focus that says, I am done playing small. You already have what it takes. You don't need another plan. You need a decision, a choice to rise. And it starts now with what's on your plate, with how you treat yourself, with the life you dare to create. You were never meant to live in a body that feels like a burden. You were meant to move with ease, to breathe deeply, to wake up clear and alive. But that vision fades when you feed yourself like survival is all you deserve. You start to accept fatigue as normal. You accept pain as permanent. You accept decline as inevitable. But those are not facts. They are patterns, and patterns can be broken. Right now, you are standing at the edge of a choice that can change everything. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. Because what you do with your next meal is not just about food. It's about your worth. When you treat your body with neglect, it doesn't just weaken. It forgets how to thrive, your energy lowers, your focus slips, your emotions spiral. You become reactive instead of intentional, and slowly, without realizing it, you surrender. But when you choose food that builds you instead of breaking you, everything begins to shift. Your cells awaken, your systems align, your mind begins to work for you again. You become more than functional, you become powerful. You begin to walk through life with clarity, with strength, with the quiet knowing that you are in control of how you feel, how you age, how you live. This is the truth most people run from. You are responsible for your energy. You are responsible for your vitality. And that responsibility is not a burden, it's a gift. Because it means you are never helpless. You don't have to wait for motivation. You don't need to rely on luck. You can choose. You can decide to eat like every day matters. Because it does. Every day is either moving you closer to strength or pulling you deeper into struggle. You cannot afford to keep living numb, tired, distracted. Not when you have the power to shift everything through a single habit, fueling your body with intention. Eating well is not just about looking better. It's about showing up better for your life, your purpose, your people. When you feed yourself right, your body becomes an ally, not an obstacle. You stop dragging yourself through the day. You stop surviving and start living, fully, presently, fiercely. And that energy is magnetic. It moves through your posture, your voice, your decisions. People feel it. You feel it. And it reinforces a truth you forgot. You are capable of creating a future that doesn't just extend your life, but fills it with power, with clarity, with depth. This is about reclaiming your power, one meal at a time, one choice at a time. You don't need to do it all at once. You just need to begin. Not with shame, but with strength. Not with fear, but with vision. Because your life is still unfolding. And how it unfolds depends on what you put in your body, in your mind, and in your heart. This is your moment. Your signal to rise. Choose to feed the version of you that is ready to live not just longer, but louder. You don't need more time. You need more alignment. The body doesn't thrive on waiting. It thrives on action. Every second you delay is a second your potential fades into the background. Not because it's gone, but because it's being buried under excuses, distractions, and temporary comfort. Your future self isn't waiting for someday. It's begging for now. For that one moment of fierce honesty where you admit that you're done settling for a life that feels less than fully alive. Your energy isn't broken. Your clarity isn't lost. They're dormant. And they wake the moment you start choosing differently. You know what happens when you fuel your body with what it needs. The fog starts to clear. The aches start to fade. The mirror becomes a reflection of progress, not punishment. And that shift doesn't just change your health. It changes how you walk into rooms, how you speak, how you think about your own worth. Because nothing is more powerful than knowing you're taking control. Not from a place of fear, but from a place of deep self-respect. That's where real strength is built. Not in trying to prove anything to anyone else, but in honoring yourself enough to stop breaking the system that's trying so hard to keep you alive. You don't need to restrict joy. You need to redefine it. Real joy doesn't come from sugar spikes or comfort binges. It comes from freedom. The freedom to move without pain, to wake without regret, to feel your heartbeat and know it's strong because you made it that way. When your cells are fed with life, you feel it everywhere, in your breath, in your mood, in your ability to stay calm when everything else feels chaotic. You're not reacting anymore, you're responding from a grounded place of power. Because your fuel matches your mission, this is about building a life that supports who you are becoming, not clinging to who you were. The old version of you had reasons. This version has results. You are not defined by the habits that broke you. You are defined by the decision to break free. And that starts with what you do when no one's watching, when the kitchen is quiet, when it's just you and a choice. That's where transformation begins. In the unseen, in the uncelebrated. In the quiet power of consistent care. You are not weak for wanting to feel better. You are wise. You are not selfish for prioritizing your health. You are responsible. You are not too far gone. You are right on time. But time won't wait forever. It will pass either way, and you will look back one day either grateful that you changed or wishing you had. That decision is being made now, in this moment, in your mind, in your next bite. This is your turning point. Not because you finally got the answer, but because you finally decided to live like your life matters. Because it does. And so you already have everything you need to become the strongest version of yourself. It's not locked in some distant future or hidden in someone else's plan. It's within your reach, buried under the noise of excuses and the weight of old habits. Deep down, you've always known the path. You've just been waiting for permission to walk it. But here's the truth, you don't need permission. You need a decision. A commitment to stop abandoning yourself every time it gets uncomfortable. Because the life you dream of isn't built on comfort, it's built on courage. Every time you reach for something that nourishes instead of numbs, you are declaring war on every limitation that's tried to hold you back. You are standing up to years of conditioning that taught you to ignore your body, silence your needs, and shrink your ambition. But not anymore. You are done living small. You are done being passive in a life that demands your full presence. When you eat with intention, you remind yourself that you are worth the effort. Not because of what you look like, but because of what you're here to become. And what you're becoming is unstoppable. Your body is not the enemy. It is the instrument through which your purpose is carried out. When you treat it with respect, it responds with strength. When you feed it what it needs, it rewards you with clarity. When you care for it daily, it becomes a vessel of resilience. You begin to rise in the face of stress instead of collapse beneath it. You begin to lead your life instead of follow your impulses. That kind of transformation isn't flashy, but it's powerful. It's the kind that lasts, because it's rooted in discipline, and discipline over time becomes freedom. The food you choose is a message to your future. Every nutrient you give yourself is a vote for your longevity, your focus, your inner peace. You stop waiting for energy, you generate it. You stop wishing for change, you embody it. And that quiet shift ripples into every area of your life. You're more patient, more confident, more alive. And people will notice, not because you told them, but because you radiate something they can't ignore: alignment. This is your life. This is your body. No one else will care for it like you can. No one else will feel the consequences of neglect like you will. That's why you must make the choice. Not from guilt, not from pressure, from purpose. From knowing that your life is too sacred to be lived on autopilot. From knowing that your potential is too important to be buried under sugar crashes and silent fatigue. Your legacy doesn't start someday, it starts now. With what you eat, with how you feel, with what you decide you are worthy of. And you are worthy of everything that brings you strength, clarity, and vitality. You are worthy of a life that doesn't just last long but feels alive every step of the way. You don't need another miracle. You need consistency. Because consistency is what turns small choices into massive change. It's not about how much you do in a single day, but how fiercely you show up for yourself over time. Real strength isn't loud, it's quiet. It's choosing the right food when no one's looking. It's drinking water instead of giving in to cravings. It's reaching for what fuels you instead of what numbs you. These aren't small acts. They're powerful declarations. Each one says, I am done betraying myself. I am choosing to rise. Most people wait until something breaks, until they are too tired, too sick, too disconnected to ignore it any longer. But you're not most people. You are awake. You are aware. You can see the signs before they become symptoms. You can feel the truth in your bones. The world doesn't need more followers of quick fixes. It needs more warriors of slow, steady healing. The ones who don't just talk about change, they embody it. And you do that every time you treat your body like it matters, every time you listen instead of suppress, every time you give instead of take away. The right food isn't a punishment, it's power. It rebuilds what stress destroys. It restores what years have dulled. It reignites what apathy has dimmed. Your body wants to heal. It's designed for it. But it can't do it alone. It needs your support. Not sometimes, every day. Not only when it's convenient, especially when it's hard, because that's where true transformation lives. In the choices that no one celebrates, in the meals that don't look perfect, in the discipline that feels boring. But it's in that quiet, consistent devotion that everything begins to shift. You're not chasing perfection, you're chasing alignment. And that means showing up even when you don't feel like it. That means seeing food not just as flavor, but as fuel. It means realizing that the body you have is not a burden, it's a blessing. Every breath, every step, every beat of your heart is a reminder that life is still giving you a chance to feel better, a chance to live longer, a chance to live fuller. Don't waste that chance on things that take more than they give. The most powerful version of you isn't hiding in a future diet. It's buried in today's decision. The one where you choose what honors your body over what harms it. The one where you stop hoping for change and start becoming the reason it happens. This isn't about willpower, it's about identity. And every time you nourish yourself, you reinforce who you are. Not just someone who eats healthy, someone who leads themselves, someone who protects their energy, someone who is becoming unstoppable from the inside out. That's what you're building. A foundation so strong that nothing shakes you. And it begins with what you choose to eat today. Again, and again, and again. You were not born to survive on autopilot. You were meant to rise with purpose, to walk with clarity, and to fuel your body like it matters, because it does. Every bite you take either builds your future or slowly erodes it. And that's not a dramatic statement, it's the truth your body has been whispering for years. You felt it in the moments when energy disappears before the day even starts. In the quiet frustration of knowing there's more inside you, but never quite feeling like you have the strength to reach for it. That's not weakness, that's your body asking for support, real support. Not trends, not short-term fixes. Real daily nourishment that strengthens your cells, calms your mind, and sharpens your will. It's not just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. There's a difference, and the bridge between the two is built with your daily decisions. The foods that restore, not inflame. The nutrients that energize, not exhaust. The habits that empower, not numb. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. You simply have to decide that your health is worth protecting. Not just when things get bad, but especially while things are still good. Because that's where real power lies. In prevention. In discipline. In the quiet strength of someone who knows their future is shaped not by chance, but by choice. The path to 100 isn't paved with luck. It's carved with intention, and that intention shows up every time you put something on your plate. Every time you ask, is this helping me heal or is this keeping me stuck? You already know the answer. Deep down, your body always tells the truth. And when you listen, when you follow that guidance, something begins to shift. Not just in your physical health, but in your mindset. You start to see food not as a reward or escape, but as your most powerful tool for longevity, energy, and clarity. The same way toxic habits compound over time, so does nourishment. One good choice leads to another. One strong meal creates energy for a better decision later. One day of eating for life builds confidence for the next. And before long, you're no longer trying to eat healthy. You've become someone who honors their health because it's simply who you are. That's the transformation that lasts. That's the kind of change that sticks, not because it's forced, but because it feels aligned with the life you want. There is strength in every small act of discipline. There is freedom in every clean, honest meal. You reclaim a piece of your power every time you eat with purpose. That power builds. That energy spreads. That clarity awakens something inside you that refuses to settle anymore. This isn't just about food, it's about identity. It's about building a life so full of vitality. You don't just live to 100, you thrive every single year of it. That begins with the next choice you make. The one that says, I'm all in. Your body is the most loyal partner you will ever have. It carries you through every hardship, every joy, every quiet moment of reflection. Yet so often it's taken for granted, pushed to the edge by stress, poor choices, and neglect. But what if you decided today to treat your body like the sacred vessel it truly is? What if every meal became a promise to yourself, a promise that you are worth care, worth respect, worth protection? When you honor your body this way, you don't just change how you eat, you change how you live. You build a fortress of resilience that no external hardship can easily break. You create a wellspring of energy that fuels your dreams, your passions, your purpose. Eating to live long is not about restrictions or deprivation. It's about abundance, the abundance of nutrients, of vitality, of health. Imagine fueling yourself with foods that do more than fill your stomach. Foods that flood your cells with antioxidants, that reduce inflammation, that repair damage done by years of wear and tear. This is not fantasy, it's science meeting choice. It's nature inviting you to step into your best self. The natural world provides what you need for longevity. All you have to do is accept the invitation every single day. When you do, your body starts to sing a different song, one of healing, strength, and endless possibility. This is the quiet power of mindful eating. Not mindless indulgence, but intentional nourishment. Every bite is a statement. A declaration that you will no longer settle for feeling tired, foggy, or weak. You will choose foods that protect your heart, your brain, your bones, the very foundation of your life. This isn't about chasing trends or fleeting diets. It's about returning to what your body inherently knows it needs. Colorful vegetables, rich in vitamins, whole grains that fuel steady energy, healthy fats that keep your mind sharp, lean proteins that build and repair. These aren't just ingredients, they are tools for transformation. When you feed yourself with this intention, your mental clarity sharpens, your mood stabilizes. Your immune system strengthens. You are no longer at the mercy of random illness or sudden fatigue. Instead, you become a force of nature. You're equipped to face every challenge with grace, with endurance, with confidence. This is what living to 100 really means. Not just adding years, but adding quality. Adding moments of joy, of connection, of achievement. And it all starts with what you choose to eat today. You might think change is hard, that habits are deeply ingrained. But every expert will tell you this: the first step is the hardest. After that, your brain rewires, your body adjusts, your cravings shift. What once felt impossible becomes your new normal. And with each meal, you become the architect of your own longevity. You hold the power to transform your life, to extend your years with health, vitality, and purpose. So now is the time to embrace that power fully. To say yes to the foods that will carry you not just to 100, but beyond every limitation you once believed in. Your future self is waiting stronger, healthier, unstoppable. All you have to do is choose to show up for them today. Imagine the power you hold each time you decide what to put on your plate. It's a choice that reverberates through every cell in your body, shaping your future in ways you may never have fully realized. The foods you eat are not just fuel, they are instructions to your body about how to repair, regenerate, and thrive. When you nourish yourself with intention, you send a message of self-love and respect that goes beyond surface-level health. You ignite the deep well of vitality inside you, awakening a strength that propels you forward even when life feels heavy. This is not about quick fixes or temporary boosts. It's about planting the seeds of enduring health that grow into a lifetime of energy, resilience, and joy. Your body remembers. It remembers every nutrient it was denied and every harmful substance it was forced to process. But it also remembers every moment of care, every vitamin, every mineral, every healing bite. This memory is not passive. It actively shapes your well-being. When you feed your body the right foods every day, you rewrite the story of your health. You slow down aging at the cellular level. You reduce inflammation that silently steals your strength. You protect your brain from decline. You strengthen your heart to carry you through decades of rich experiences. This is the profound impact of daily nutrition done right. The truth is simple: longevity doesn't come from luck. It comes from the choices you make consistently. It comes from a deep commitment to yourself that says, I deserve to live fully and vibrantly. When you commit to eating these powerful healing foods every day, you create a foundation so strong that nothing can shake it. You build a body that can adapt, recover, and flourish. This foundation supports not just survival, but thriving. It allows you to meet each day with confidence, to pursue your dreams with vigor, and to savor every moment without the weight of illness or fatigue holding you back. This is the transformation waiting for you, a transformation that starts quietly but grows unstoppable. It begins with trust in your own ability to choose differently. It grows as you replace old habits with new rituals of care. It flourishes when you see food not as a source of pleasure alone, but as a powerful tool for creating the life you want. Every nutrient-rich bite is a step closer to the person you are meant to become: strong, clear-minded, and full of boundless energy. This person doesn't just exist. They live with purpose, passion, and unstoppable momentum. You have the power to redefine what it means to grow older. You can reject the narrative of decline and instead embrace a future where your body and mind are sharp, your energy abundant, and your spirit unbreakable. That future is within reach. It is shaped by the daily choices you make right now. Choose the foods that heal. Choose the habits that sustain. Choose the life that honors the incredible potential inside you. This is your moment. This is your power. This is your journey toward living not just longer, but better, vibrantly, fully, and fearlessly. What if every meal you eat became a sacred act of healing? What if the simple choices you make each day could erase years of wear and tear, renewing your body's strength and vitality? This is not a distant dream, it's a reality waiting for you to claim. The foods you embrace daily have the power to turn back the clock inside your cells, to protect you from the unseen damage that time and stress impose. They offer more than nourishment. They provide a shield, a fortress of resilience built from nature's most potent gifts. When you begin to understand this, you begin to wield a power greater than any external force. Your body is not passive. It responds to every nutrient, every vitamin, every antioxidant with profound effects. This is science in motion, but it feels deeply personal because it is your life at stake. You deserve to feel vibrant, to wake up with energy that carries you through the day without dragging you down. You deserve a mind sharp enough to grasp your goals and a body strong enough to chase them relentlessly. Eating these foods daily is a declaration of that worthiness. It is a refusal to accept decline as inevitable and a bold step toward longevity filled with purpose. Think about the endless potential you hold when you nourish yourself properly. Your immune system, that silent guardian, becomes unbreakable. Your heart, the tireless engine of life, beats stronger and steadier. Your brain, the seat of your dreams, stays clear and focused, even as the years pass. This is not some vague hope, it is the natural outcome of consistently choosing foods that heal, repair, and energize. The key is consistency, the daily commitment to feeding your body what it truly needs, rather than what it merely craves. This choice redefines the relationship between your present and your future, creating a bridge to a life where vitality doesn't fade but grows. When you make this choice, you are stepping into a new identity, one of a person who values themselves enough to invest in lasting health. This identity rewires your habits, your mindset, and your future. It pushes you to let go of fleeting pleasures that drain you and embrace sustainable practices that uplift you. It transforms how you see food, not as a source of guilt or boredom, but as a powerful ally in your quest for a long, fulfilling life. This transformation is both physical and emotional. It fuels hope, courage, and a deep sense of control over your destiny. This is your chance to live in a way that honors the miracle of your body. Every choice you make shapes your story, and the foods you eat write the chapters of strength, clarity, and endless energy. You are not powerless against time. Instead, you are a creator of your own health, a warrior armed with knowledge and intention. When you eat these foods daily, you give yourself the gift of a future where you don't just survive, you thrive. This future is yours to seize, moment by moment, meal by meal. The journey toward a vibrant, energized, and long life begins here. With the choices you make today, imagine the incredible force of nature inside you, millions of cells tirelessly working to keep you alive, to heal, to grow. Every second, they face assaults from stress, pollution, and poor choices. But they also have an incredible capacity to regenerate and rebuild, to fight back when given the right tools. Those tools come from the foods you choose to eat each day. When you fuel yourself with nature's most potent ingredients, you ignite a powerful cascade of healing. Your body's natural defense system strengthens, your energy soars, and you reclaim the control that too often feels lost. This is not just about living longer, it's about living better. It's about reclaiming the vitality that belongs to you by birth. The science of longevity reveals that what you put on your plate directly shapes your future. Foods rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals act as warriors against aging and disease. They neutralize harmful molecules that threaten your cells and keep inflammation, the silent enemy behind many illnesses, at bay. This is your frontline defense, an invisible shield constructed by the choices you make every single day. It's easy to underestimate the power of a single meal, but when you make the right choices consistently, you build resilience strong enough to withstand the pressures of life. This resilience is freedom, the freedom to wake up without pain, to move without restriction, and to think without fog. There is something profoundly empowering about knowing that your daily diet can be a source of strength rather than weakness. This knowledge awakens a deeper respect for your body and an unwavering commitment to protect it. The foods you eat become more than nourishment, they become acts of self-love, investments in your future self who will thank you with vitality and joy. You stop seeing food as a simple necessity or a guilty pleasure and start seeing it as your most effective medicine. This shift in perspective transforms how you approach every meal, turning it into a deliberate choice that shapes your health and happiness. Eating these specific foods daily is a form of courage, a stand against the tide of quick fixes and empty calories that sap your energy and shorten your life. It's a choice to honor your body's intelligence and give it exactly what it needs to thrive. When you embrace this, you begin to notice a change not only in your body but in your spirit. You become more confident, more determined, and more connected to the incredible potential within you. This is the transformation that comes from feeding yourself with intention. Your body responds with strength, your mind with clarity, and your heart with hope. This is your moment to claim that strength, to decide that your health is non-negotiable. The path to living fully and vibrantly is laid with the simple but profound step of choosing the right foods every day. This choice sets into motion a powerful ripple effect: improved energy, stronger immunity, clearer thinking that changes everything. You are not at the mercy of time, you are the architect of your own longevity. By feeding your body with nature's most powerful gifts daily, you are building a future that honors your worth and your dreams. It is time to rise, to take control, and to live a life that stretches far beyond what you ever imagined possible.